Peace and welcome. Today we have our favorite water themes. Water stages get a bad rep, but I think some of the best music in games have come from stages that have a water setting. Thank you to everyone who submitted their favorite water themes. We went through every comment, then we listened and took all into consideration, and it did change our list. But for now, let's go over the guidelines. Number 1, the stage does not have to be underwater. It can be on top of the water, or if the stage has enough rain, or perhaps on a beach. Somehow, water should be involved. And that takes us to our next one. Water should have an effect on the gameplay, whether it be good or bad. Maybe you move slower, maybe you are swimming, or if you fall in the water and it takes a life. The water should not just be for looks. You should have water-related enemies or water-related obstacles. Number 3, the good old one per franchise. Just so the list has variation. We don't want it to just be a few franchises that make up the entire list. A quick example of something that would not be allowed, as much as we would like to include the title screen theme from Ecco the Dolphin on the SEGA CD, it's not a water stage theme. It's a title screen theme on a water game, so that's different. And with no further delay, let's get this started. Number 10 is from BANJO-TOOIE's Jolly Roger's Lagoon, a theme named Atlantis. Composed by KIRKHOPE and released on November 20th of the year 2000 on the Nintendo 64. This theme has a slow feel with not many instruments going, but it's very effective. You don't need a lot of instruments to pull off a good track. The theme doesn't really make me think of water, but the overall feel of it put it on our list. Albeit quite low at number 10, it's a fun little theme for a fun little game. Number 9 is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Dam. Not your typical water stage theme, its fast-paced nature is almost the complete opposite of most water stage themes. But in its defense, you are being timed, and if you don't hurry and defuse all of the bombs, the dam will explode, and with you in it. I would say the fast tempo and intense feel of the track fit perfectly for the stage. Number 8, Mega Man X2. Bubble Crab Stage. So there are a ton of water stages in Mega Man, and we went through all of them and we decided on Bubble Crab Stage theme. It appears in multiple games. You can find a version of it used for Duff McWhalen in Mega Man X5. It sounds similar, but we chose the original for our top 10. The beginning of the track reminds me a bit of the BANJO-TOOIE Jolly Roger's Lagoon theme, just because of the instrument selection. But with this track being a faster tempo, I think it really comes to life. 7, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Crystal Teardrops. A bass-heavy track to start out, then it picks up with more instruments as it goes along. I really like when the piano kicks in. This track almost reminds me of the Tenchu soundtrack besides the drums. These drums are blended in differently and almost have a hip-hop feel to them. I wouldn't be surprised if they were sampled from something. Later on, a flute joins in and really sends the track over the top. And even later after the flute, there is an organ. And this is when the track really takes off. This is a theme that takes advantage of multiple instruments and does it very well. A masterful track by Michiru Yamane. Number 6, Zelda Ocarina of Time, the Water Temple theme. In my opinion, Ocarina of Time has some of the best music on the Nintendo 64. From the trippy sounds of the Fire Temple to the eerie sounds of the Water Temple. It almost has a random feel to it, giving off a little sense of chaos, but as if it was an organized chaos. It's a very subtle theme, it fits quietly in the background, but yet it's still a very memorable theme. I really like the overall feel. Number 5, Echo the Dolphin on the Sega CD, Home Bay. We couldn't help but put an Echo track into the top 10. The Sega CD version just has too many good tracks that qualify. The title theme may not qualify, but pretty much all of the stage music does. So we went with our favorite stage theme, and it comes from Echo's Home Bay. A smooth and relaxing track, yet it still remains mysterious. One of the perfect themes for any water stage. Some tracks are so good they could almost be interchangeable, and this is one. This would fit almost any water stage. Number 4, from Final Fantasy VII, A Secret Sleeping in the Deep Sea. A franchise that is known for good music, and a game in the main series that many would say has the best music of the entire series. One of my personal favorite soundtracks, and one I look forward to hearing again in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Even if the game is bad, which I don't think it will be, but if that happens to be the case, I would say we are pretty much guaranteed at least the soundtrack will be nice to listen to. A lot of our favorite Final Fantasy themes in its full remastered glory. Number 3, from Donkey Kong Country, Aquatic Ambience. A theme that I think most people are not surprised to see on the list, and maybe a track that most people would put even higher. But we have to stay true to ourselves, and we put it at number 3. It's one of the best water themes around, and the composer David Wise did an outstanding job portraying a water stage. I always like to hear the slower melodies with lots of little variations and sounds going on, and that's one reason I am drawn to water themes. I like the fluidity of the track, the way it flows has a soothing effect. This is one of the perfect embodiments of a great water theme in a game. Number 2 comes from Sonic the Hedgehog, Labyrinth Zone. Barely beating Aquatic Ruin Zone, and from one of the best soundtracks around. I always like getting to this zone in the game because I always looked forward to the music. It's not as slow as Aquatic Ambience, for example, and the theme does pick up the pace even more as it goes, but then it slows back down. It's a nice blend of tempos. I think overall it has an upbeat feel for a water theme, and the instrument and sound selection was really well done. Some Genesis themes have a real heavy twang that can sometimes ruin the track, but that's not what happens here. The Genesis sound almost helps it feel more aquatic. One honorable mention, and it comes from Chrono Cross. Dream of the shore bordering another world. Coming from a fantastic soundtrack, this theme takes full advantage of the CD format used by the PlayStation. The PS1 really let composers shine, and this track sums it up. The quality was and still is top-notch for any game. This is a track that could not be achieved on previous consoles. Combine all of that with the somber feel of it, and you have an epic theme from an epic soundtrack. Number 1, Super Mario 64, Dire Dire Docks. We had to narrow it down to one Mario theme because there are some really good ones. It was a little bit difficult. For example, from the iconic theme in the first game on the NES. To the smooth sound of the water theme on Super Mario World on the SNES. It's difficult not to include these on the list, but it happened because Dire Dire Docks is just that good. The hardware of the Nintendo 64 can obviously handle more than just the basic bleeps and bloops of the NES, and yes, the SNES took it to the next level, but the Nintendo 64 did that same thing and took it even to a higher level. Being able to have more natural sounds to work with really helps out with the water theme. I think you want to make it almost as smooth as possible, and realistic sounds help achieve that. So there you have our top 10 water themes. One of our next top 10s will be best character select themes. I really like the idea, so yeah, thanks for that. It may not be the very next top 10 we do, but it will be one of the next few for sure. So feel free to leave your favorite character select screen in the comments, and also throw in your favorite water theme. I'm sure there are some really good ones that we may have overlooked. Anyways, for now, I am ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.